Well, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head up into space.
At first, I thought they were doing like a self-deprecating thing, like they were like how they were doing in Wolverine. Yeah, Deadpool Wolverine. Like, okay, I see where they're going, but no, that's someone's parody. Okay.
And come back forever changed.
This car?
Our city, our planet, owe a debt to these intrepid souls. And while we can never repay them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four. Thank you.
Thank you, Fantastic Four.
Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking? Okay. That is fantastic.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You late?
I just said that.
Are you pregnant?
What? You're gonna be the best mom in the world. And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are gonna be the best uncles ever.
We can do this. Nothing is going to change.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked.
Okay. We have to talk about this. We got to talk about this. All right. What are you guys' thoughts?
It looked like hammered shit. Oh, I'm sorry. It looked like silver dipped hammered shit. Oh.
It's like they learned nothing from the second Fantastic Four movie that came out in the aughts. It's like, and I was talking about this with somebody online. I was like, I don't know if it's just they don't really know how to adapt this to live action, or if it's just really hard to adapt to live action. Because when you're doing like Chrome or whatever in CGI, it always is going to have this kind of like fake 3D look to it. But I think the problem is that in the past, when they've done like costumes and stuff like that, sometimes Marvel and DC do too much articulation, too many little details and stuff like that, to where it's like it's just overdone. And in this case, it's like maybe they should have, interpreted it in a little bit of a different way rather than just having just a smooth, silvery body. Maybe there should have been like some, almost like some what's the term I'm looking for? Like little creases where her joints are, and you're seeing the cosmic energy, pulsating inside of it. You know what I'm saying? And get rid of the hair. The hair looks so stupid, man. It just looks so dumb. She actually would have looked cool if they just made her bald. I need to do it when I do my essay channel. I need to do an essay like how I would design this differently. Because the hair is just and then her face just looks stupid. It's just not.
I'm a polygon real quick, bro. Dang, I'm gonna have to change the hair look. I'm not gonna lie. I almost got it about done, but
Yeah, but this isn't good looking. This is not good looking at all.
You talking my thing? You talking about the show?
We're talking about the show.
Okay.
Or the Silver Surfer here. Silver Surfette. Yeah. And I have to say, I like other aspects of the aesthetics, but this right here, it's like, but sometimes when they show trailers, they're not completely done with the visual effects. Maybe it's not done yet. It just looks so bad. The hair, I think if she was bald, it would look better. I think the bald, sleek look would make her look more powerful, but the hair, it just looks tacked on. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look good. Yeah, they should have. I think they should have thought about this a little bit more before they went to this. I mean, because this looks very similar to the Silver Surfer from the second Fox movie.
And that was what, 10 years ago?
Was it? I can't remember. I know a movie sucked. I know that.
I didn't see it. I think.
Oh, it's Mike. What's up, Mike? Says Mike is. What did Mike say? He said, "Are you the protectors of this world? Always the president or someone from the dominant society?" What? Okay, Mike. I'm confused.
He's has an existential. He's having an
Oh, okay.
existential.
Oh, he's talking about what she said. I first was like, he's talking to us. Like, yeah. Oh, I see what he's saying. Always the president or someone else from the dominant society. Well, that's why they're the dominant society, Mike. We were the dominant society that she would have came to us. Yeah, it looks dumb. It does. It looks dumb. Yeah, Mike, you want to come up? Let me know if you want to come up. I'll put the link in the chat. Yeah. I figured that's what you were talking about, Silver Surfette chick. Yeah, I think they should have went the bald right route, and I would have done something a little different with the body. Because I remember we were looking her up. I think she strikes a good pose, like as far as her look. So I think she could have worked as the Silver Surfer. It's just I don't know who did the art direction for her, but it's just not. It's off. It doesn't look good. It does not look good at all. All right. Any other comments on this? I guess we can keep
Looks
playing.
like shit.
Yeah, let's keep
Looks
playing.
like shit. Kid, you heard that?
For
Looks
death.
like shit.
It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space. And they hurt.
Are we safe?
I don't know.
The thing's face looks fake. Just gotta be honest about that. It's just not blending well with the live action.
There's not enough time.
I'm not giving up. We will face this together. We will fight it together. As a family.
You notice how like Pedro Pascal hasn't said a word in this trailer? Okay, yeah, I'll send you the link real quick, Mike.
He's been in everything over the last couple of years.
Yeah, but it's almost like
great.
It's almost like Sue Storm is kind of taking the lead, and but he hasn't said one word in this trailer the entire time. The smartest man in the world hasn't said one word.
Might be the smartest simp in the world.
Let's see. All right.
Has to be us.
We will protect you.
He just doesn't.
I'll say this: I like the operatic tone of the Fantastic Four. It's kind of a throwback to like old Hollywood. I like that, and it has like a retro feel to it. But I will say this about being anticlimactic: Galactus is something you don't show in your trailer. You just don't show him in your trailer, especially not something mundane like that. Him just walking down Fifth Avenue or wherever he was in New York. It's just, I wouldn't have done that, man. Galactus is a force of nature, something to be feared. It's something that they should have built up to, like, make Silver Surfer badass. She's whooping ass. They gotta find a way to beat her. Yeah, we can hear you. What's up, man?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But the way they did Galactus right there, it's just very anticlimactic. And to be fair, I'm totally judging by the trailer. Maybe the movie's going to be great, but I am not impressed with what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I'm not impressed, but additionally, I just wanted to comment on the whole dominant society thing. Okay, so you go to them to ask them, "Are you the protectors of this planet or Earth or whatever?" Well, I mean, no, they're the protectors of themselves. If you really look at their actions, they really kind of run amok, like in the Earth. Like they kind of.
Are you talking about reality, or are you talking about the superhero?
I'm talking about reality because, but I'm talking about reality because okay, so like Stephen King says, the closer that you can make something to reality when you're writing a story, the better it is, right?
Yeah, but superheroes.
Oh no, hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying. So for her to come here, for her to go directly to them and ask, "Are you the protectors of this Earth?" Well, they're not. Like if anything, they've destroyed a fair amount of the Earth, like through their industries and in various other ways, and destroyed entire ethnic groups. They're the protectors of themselves. Possibly they might be the protector of the Earth if there's a big enough threat. However, with regard to aliens and all, and all this other stuff, in almost every instance we see when aliens come to this planet, they're kind of like stronger. So I don't know. And again, maybe I'm just thinking
Are
about
you talking
it.
about reality, or are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I'm talking about reality. But then again, like I said, it's.
You think aliens? Wait. So you think aliens have come here in reality? Is that I'm
I mean, I don't know if aliens can come here in reality or not. But what I'm trying to say is whenever we've seen aliens come here, like in movies and television shows and stuff, they're generally really strong, right? So it's like, again, like I don't know how much.
Yeah, I'm not following. You don't think? I think I follow a little bit, but like, okay, Mike, you don't think there's just a little bit of black fragility?
It's not black fragility. It's like, tell a story that's like.
It's their story. It's their story. Of course,
okay, and that's what I'm trying to say. That's fine. You know what I'm trying to say? That's fine. That's cool. But like, tell it like I don't know. Like, it'd be cool if you just told a better story that was like a little bit more grounded. Everybody's always talking about, man, why don't you tell a story that's a little bit more grounded? We want more like grounded characters. Well, kind of like, I don't know, ground your story a little bit. Yeah, you can still be the hero of it, right? No one's saying you shouldn't be the hero of the stories that you write, right? That's not what I'm trying to say, but can you ground it?
I mean, it's escape. It's an escapism movie. It's the superhero movie. It's about heroes. It's about classic heroes from like the 60s. When the Fantastic Four come out, the 60s. I mean, I don't get like, it's a weird criticism. It's like it'd be like, you just, hey, by the way, how did did you ever make it out to California for your
I made it out to New York.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a lot of
the New York one, yeah.
Yeah, that actually went well. I'm actually created like a series about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be putting out on YouTube or whatever, but
oh hell yeah, I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, but like California, I actually went ahead and pushed that one back because I wanted to focus on getting the app out. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be announcing the app here probably toward the end of next week.
Okay, cool.
And the reason for that being is just making sure like I have a viable way to get this out, to disseminate it, because like I found a little bit of pushback from some of the platforms, like with regard to what I'm putting out. So
that's it.
It is what it is. I'm not upset, but I've already understood that this is kind of what I was going to be dealing with.
Yeah.
So I took a step back to focus a little bit more on that and kind of replan for that. But the Charleston one is still on. So like the Charleston one is next Sunday. So I'm definitely doing that. I already paid for the movie theater and everything, and we're gonna make sure we have everything working.
All right. Yeah. Well, the only reason why I brought it up is because like, okay, if you make a IP or a franchise or a story or whatever, you're gonna do it from your perspective.
Absolutely.
And then from your perspective, the aliens might come to mankind, and you might have, black people, because you might have some reason, like, okay, well, you've seen that the white people have what they've done to the earth, so we see you guys as a real leader. And
yeah, absolutely.
Perfectly fine to do in your story, but I don't get why you would, it's a weird criticism. Because I'm looking at it from it's their story. Like, why would they not do that? Like, why would they not? It's about.
Well, I'll say this.
Why would
I think it's
wait. Let me just finish my point. Mr. Fantastic is literally in this universe, literally the smartest man in the world. He's created all these wonderful technology. Seems like they're probably the only force in this particular world that's going to be able to stop somebody like Galactus. Why would she not come to them?
Well, don't they exist in the same universe as the Avengers? And
no, it looks like this is taking place. That's why it looks so retro looking. It looks like this is taking place in another universe, and then maybe when they do Secret Wars, they'll kind of merge the universes together.
Well, but then even if that's the case, doesn't Captain America would be
Mike. Once I disagree with everything you're saying. It is a fantasy movie based on comic books. Take it easy.
I get it. You're overreacting, bro.
I get it. I'm not trying to say that they shouldn't. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't seem grounded in reality.
It's not. They got a big orange rock man.
I know that.
DC armor was not grounded.
I know that. But here's the thing. You know how? Okay, so would you argue that Avengers is grounded in reality?
No, it's not.
No, you're right. You would.
Big purple man that shows up and
absolutely. Would you argue? Hold on. And would you argue that Black Panther is grounded in reality?
No.
Well,
okay,
wait. I sort of disagree. I disagree. But I disagree. But I disagree with that. I disagree.
Is grounded in reality.
But I disagree with that.
It's not grounded in reality.
Wait, no, I disagree.
Okay, no, because
I disagree.
Now I got you where
I disagree.
I want you. Because
now
I'm going to tell you how I feel.
Disagree, though. I disagree.
Well, hold on, wait a second.
Wait. You asked the question to the whole audience. You can't say we all agree. I don't agree with Carbon.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Because when it comes to Black Panther, and when it comes to, I would say, something like Captain America, I think those stories are a little bit more grounded.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're closer to street level. You know what I'm saying? Captain America more to Black Panther, but I think there's some points being brought up in the Black Panther movie that I think could be like, okay, you could look at this as I see why he thinks that way, as a grounded way of thinking about reality. Same thing with Captain America. It was to the point in Captain America where they were criticizing the World War II generation, which I have never seen done in the movie before. I've never seen that done.
All right, no, sounds good. So
espionage and all that stuff. So I think those are way more grounded than something like Avengers. Yeah.
Right. No, I understand where you're coming from, but you're only accentuating my point. So why are we giving this other piece of Marvel
because it's a different
propaganda? Why are we giving this a pass whereas the other ones were like, well, I don't know, man. When I think about Killmonger and I think about T'Challa, I don't know. That's kind of we can make that. We can if I took Carbon's position and I said, well, I don't know, man. It's all comic books and it's all, well, okay, that's fine. But if that's the case, then let's make it one way all the way around. All right, and let's not talk about
but it's not one way all the way around.
Black Panther is grounded in reality in this. And you know what? Killmonger is right. Guess what? If you're going to dismiss my argument, then you need to go ahead and dismiss that argument as well.
But that's not what I said. I said,
well, I'm not talking necessarily to you right now as much as I'm talking to Carbon. If you're going to dismiss my argument about, hey, man, grounded in reality a little bit more, so that it's more understandable.
But let's be clear, though. Carbon agrees. He agrees that it's all not based in. He thinks all the superheroes.
That's
I don't.
Yeah, I'm the one who's saying that if you look at something like Black Panther, and really more so Captain America, but I would say Black Panther to a certain extent. That's a little bit more grounded. That's a little bit closer to reality as far as the the
Okay,
greatness,
so
of
then
the
Brian,
world.
so
But-
then Brian, why are we giving Fantastic Four a pass?
I'm not giving it a pass. I see it as a different type of media. Like for
But
instance,
it's not.
right?
It's all propaganda.
I mean, yeah,
Mike,
propaganda.
hey,
Wait,
hey,
wait. He's talking to me. Let me finish my point.
all right,
Um,
hold on.
Wait,
Hold on.
wait,
There's nothing you have to
wait,
say.
dude. Wait,
I'm about to go
man,
get something
wait.
to eat. I'm about to go get something to eat. Y'all carry on this argument without me, okay?
Okay, that's cool. What I was saying,
One ball.
what I'm saying is that that if someone presents to me a piece of media and they say, hey, this is fantasy, right? Like, I'm not gonna be looking for like it to be totally grounded in with this or that. Even certain science fiction films like Star Wars, which is really more like sci-fi fantasy. Like, it's gonna be so grounded on it. I'm accepting it for what it is. I see that as Fantastic Four. Like you said, you got Rockman, a man can turn to fire or whatever, and then a lady that's completely silver. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna get bent out of this shape when one of the antagonists in the movie goes to the heroes in the movie and says, "Are you the leaders?" I'm sorry, that's black fragility. That's black fragility, man. Mike, that's black fragility. You gotta be honest about that.
I'm not bent out of shape. I'm just like, that's so 19. I don't know. Take us to your leader. You know,
literally, it has a retro feel. They're going for a retro feel.
Come on, bro. Like, come on, man.
The entire.
I don't know. It's so stupid, though. Like, I mean, it's in my view. Okay, it's like at the very least, it's poorly done. Like
the entire trailer.
Just don't include it, right?
Mike, the entire trailer. Mike, the entire trailer presents itself as a piece of retro media. Why would that? So of course they're gonna have stuff like that.
All right. Well, it's dumb. I'm sorry, but you know what? Guess what? Like, even at that time, so what's this like? What is this 60s that this ticket?
This looks like the 60s. Yeah, this looks like.
So if it's the 60s, you already had dissenters from like the Vietnam War and stuff like that already kind of like, hey man, like, I know we're American and everything, but I'm kind of tired of, like what we're doing, to like other nations. That was already sparked in the 60s. You see what I'm trying to say? I would say that type of thing right there is more late 40s, 50s. If you're gonna take us to the Martians land, take us to your leader. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, in the it wasn't just the 40s, it was also the 50s.
Yeah, I said the 50s. I said late 40s and 50s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, but there were still movies made that were trying to mimic that era, just like especially in the 80s, not so much as much as in the 60s. I guess the point I'm trying to make is, I don't know, it's just kind of it's a weird criticism. I think it's
not a weird criticism. It's if we're giving it a pass, because it seems like we're giving it a pass based on the fact that it's a period film. But if it's taking place in the 60s, you already had dissenters at that point.
Yeah, but that's not how they're presenting it. They're not presenting it from a 1960s.
Well, they are presenting it though from it, because
you're not letting me finish with my point, Mike. You're not letting me. If you let me finish my point, you will see what I'm saying. They're not presenting it from a 1960s hippie counterculture perspective. They're presenting it from a nuclear family, white middle class perspective. So yeah, they would have that in there. That's what I'm saying. I think you're letting your black fragility cloud.
It's not black fragility.
Total black fragility. It's total black fragility.
It's not black fragility.
You're doing what I've heard. Not all, but I've heard what some white people do to the new Sinners movie, where they just couldn't get past the fact that racism was in the movie. Did you have to bring that up? Does every movie have to bring that up? That's what you're doing.
Well, it's not what I'm doing.
Exactly what you're doing.
It's like I said, you
can't accept it for what it is. I have criticisms of the movie.
No.
It's not some like black fragility stuff. It's like, why does Silver Surfette look like shit?
You're not going to.
It has nothing to do with racism. Like, what are you talking
You're not going to get away with that, Brian. You're saying because they're presenting it from just the position of the wholesome nuclear family position that we should give it a pass. And I'm like, well, there were more things. There were more things going on in the 60s, Brian.
We don't even know, bro.
Like, that's what I'm trying to say. No,
we don't even know.
No, it's not black fragility. It's not black fragility. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a realistic take on the 60s.
We can't.
That's my problem. If we're talking about the 40s or 50s, okay, fine. But by the time the 60s came, you had even white people like, well, dissenting. So if you're going to do it in an intelligent way, no. If you're going to do it in an intelligent way, then you need to cover both sides of the argument.
But we
so
don't
again,
know.
back to my point, why are we giving them a pass, but then we're not giving other
I'm not
people
giving
a
them a pass because I don't understand what
pass? Dude, whatever, man. It's not a weird criticism because if it's taking
Mike,
place,
are you gonna
kind of movie, man?
if it's taking
What are you
place
talking
in
about?
the 60s,
Mike,
then
I
that's
gotta
what's
be-
going on.
All right,
Whatever,
Mike,
dude.
Mike,
Hey,
Not black.
and with that, hey,
Mike.
hey, and with that, y'all have a good night. Because Mike, I thought Carbon was depressing. Man, you came in just.
No, Demetrius.
Yeah, you want to talk bad about me? Look at him.
We still got.
Yeah, you can't talk. You know, we gonna talk about him.
We got some video games. We got some video games and some independent
Yeah, so
animation.
much else to talk. You trying to talk about all this?
But I
already know, man.
In order to like let you guys continue on, I'll bounce.
Dang,
but
dude.
like, come on, bro. Like,
Mike,
it's not a realistic
Mike.
depiction of the 60s.
Nobody's going to
I'll
Mike.
the 16th.
But I think it's
dude.
All right,
Mike, let me see, Mike. The movie has a man,
Not no
a
documentary or anything.
40-story man in orange. I'm sorry, and purple armor.
Absolutely
They have-
great. It's
and
all
Hold on. And then they have a rocket man running through walls.
great.
Let it go, man.
Everything.
He's
Let's
an
treat
orange man.
everything. Let's treat everything like fantasy. Then, if that's the case,
can I at least?
and let's
Mike,
treat
we at least-
even Black Panther and all the other stuff that people make social commentary on. Let's just
The
treat
goal of that
all
movie
of
is
it. Let's
different
than the
treat
goal
of this
all
movie.
of it
All right,
as
I
fantasy.
gotta meet you guys.
Some movies have-
I'm never gonna get a chance to look. It's real simple, Mike. People are already talking about the social commentary based on this. They're already saying there's gonna be gender stuff in here. So we don't know yet. No, we haven't seen the movie yet. That's why I say this is Black Fragility. You haven't even seen the movie. At least watch the movie, or cause they might even touch on the Vietnam thing since it takes place in that time. What I'm saying is the trailer is being presented as a retro type of thing, and I think it is Black Fragility to interpret it in that way. I'm sorry, I do. But I'll let you respond. Go ahead.
Like I said, dude, it's not Black Fragility. It's like, hey, if again, I'm going to bring this up. If it's all fantasy and you want to sweep my argument under the rug and say that all of Marvel's movies are fantasy, then okay, let's treat all of them like fantasy, and then let's not do commentaries or in-depth commentaries or anything like that on Black Panther or Captain America or any of the rest of the ones that delve into like existentialism in any type of way, or any type of other social issues that are being dealt with. Let's just do all of that. Let's just treat it all like fantasy, because that's all it really is, right? Because this is the point that I'm trying to make. It's all propaganda. You're saying fantasy, fine. I'm saying propaganda. So if we're going to treat it like that, let's treat it like that, and let's just be like, okay, this doesn't mean anything. It's not propaganda. It's just fantasy and it's escapism. Okay, fine, sure, let's do that. But then don't turn around and get deep on me when it's time to do Black Panther or any of the other properties or anything like that. That people sit there and really break down like Thanos was right. You just don't do any of that then. You see what I'm trying to say? It's like
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I know. That makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense, Mike. Look, people.
That's
Mike,
fair.
Can I respond to what you said?
That's
Mike,
fair.
Can I respond to what you said? It makes no
Hey.
sense. People are going to
Can I
break.
say?
You hear me talking, dude? I'm gonna give you a chance.
I
Let me
don't care.
finish my point.
I don't care.
Let me
I
finish
don't
my
care.
point. Let me finish my
Finish
point,
your
and I'll
point.
let you go. You go
Point.
right after me, man. Only point I want to make is that look, man, people are going to break this stuff down. People will break down the most innocuous thing. Who are you to tell them not to do it?
Well, okay,
Look,
if you're gonna,
I'm not done, Mike. I'm not done.
You can't then attack
I'm
me.
not done,
Okay,
Mike.
if that's
Mike,
the case,
I'm not
then why
done.
are you attacking me?
Mike, I'm not done.
I'm doing Black Fragility when I'm
I'm
just
not
breaking
done.
it down from my point
I'm
of
not
view.
attacking you.
You're
I
a
just-
hypocrite.
I'm not
That's
attacking
hypocritical.
Mike, I'm not
It
attacking you.
is.
Mike, I'm not attacking you. You have a
Okay,
right.
dude.
You have a
All
right.
right,
You have a right to do it.
Go
That's why I
ahead.
brought you up so you can
Go
talk
ahead.
about
but
it.
You
I just
literally
think your argument's
made
ridiculous.
yourself into a hypocrite.
I just
Go
think
ahead.
how am I a hypocrite?
Because you're telling, okay, so if you're saying, who am I to tell people that they can't break stuff down?
Yeah.
Then who are you to tell me I can't break it down?
I
from
never
my
said
point
you
of view?
can't. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you are, because what you're
No, I'm
trying to
not.
do,
Mike,
Yes, you
no,
are,
I'm not.
because
I never
in effect,
said, Mike,
you're
you don't have a
trying
right.
to shame me
Mike,
for my
I never
position,
said,
right?
Mike, I never said.
Yeah,
you
in
don't
effect,
have a
you're
right
trying
do
to
that.
shame me
I'm
and
trying to
say
shame you.
I'm doing black fragility.
I think
for
it
my
is black
position,
fragility.
right?
I think it is black fragility. But I'm
Okay,
not
that's
trying to. I'm not
that's
trying to shame
fine.
you. That's
That's
what I
cool
think
or
it is.
whatever. But
That's
in
what I think
fact,
it
that's
is.
what you're trying to do. You're trying to
No, I'm
shame me.
not. I'm not
So
trying
if
to
you're
shame you,
trying
Mike.
to shame
Mike,
me
I'm not
instead of
trying
like
to shame you.
listening to my point of
I'm
view,
listening to your
whenever
point of
you
view, and I
say
think it's
something like
ridiculous.
black fragility, that's like you're
All right,
trying
Mike,
to
I got to
shame
mute you because
somebody.
you wouldn't even let me
So
finish
if
my
you're
point.
trying to shame somebody, then you're not allowing somebody to like break things down from their
You
point of view.
all you been doing is talking and over talking people. What are you talking about?
Dude,
What are you talking about? Look, all I'm saying, because I wanted to make a point about your point about propaganda. One, I never said you couldn't say it. Matter of fact, I brought you up so you can say it. I want to look. Propaganda is in everything. Propaganda is in everything. But I think we have this
absolutely.
notion. Let me finish with saying we have this notion in the West, particularly because of Nazi Germany, that we think we associate propaganda with the negative. But not all propaganda is negative. Not all propaganda is equal. You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with that. I read the book Propaganda by Edward Bernays, so I actually don't disagree with you.
Yeah, now don't get me wrong. I mean, there is evil propaganda. I'm not saying that there isn't. My point though is what you're trying to say that okay, I can like me personally, I didn't have a problem with her saying, basically she didn't say this, but to paraphrase, take me to your leader type of language. I didn't have a problem with that because I saw what they were doing. Okay, they're doing like a retro type of thing, and you're saying, okay, well, if I'm not gonna take that seriously and analyze it and critique it, then I shouldn't do it for anything else.
Yeah, well, okay.
I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
Just because you're hung up on that doesn't mean I have to be hung up on it.
Again, hung up on it. Again, this is the first I'm ever seeing of this trailer. I don't even pay their stuff any attention these days, to be honest with you. I'm just here kicking it with you guys or whatever. So let's get that straight. So that's the first thing. But then the second thing is, like I said, if you're taking it, even to break your argument down, if it's taking place in the 60s, if it was taking place in the 50s, that was a different era. But in the 60s is full of all sorts of volatility, dude. That whole 50s, Leave It to Beaver take wouldn't have been flying in the 60s. It just wouldn't. So your argument already falls apart based on that. So yeah, it does.
Why? Can I explain why it does?
If it's a period piece,
can I explain why it doesn't? If you're gonna make a claim, can I at least
go ahead?
Back up my point?
You tried to explain it already, but it doesn't make sense. But go ahead.
Why? Let me make it make sense for you.
Go ahead.
I mean,
go ahead.
Who was writing Fantastic Four in the 60s? It was what's his name? Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
You're doing a lot of explaining.
Who is the most goofy, like, I should say goofy. I actually like Stan Lee, but who was the most like, what's that movie called with Andy Griffith, like just typical, superhero type of whatever. I mean, it's those guys, especially in the 60s when they were writing Fantastic Four.
Well,
and they did some progressive stuff with like the X-Men. Come on, man.
So
that's why it's called the first family.
You've done a lot of explaining right now. You really have done a lot of explaining right now. Whereas it's like, come on, bro, like there shouldn't be that much explaining done. If it's a period piece, then tell the story according to the period. If you want respect from people that are trying to break the film down. Like you can't say that. Well, Mike is on some black fragility stuff when in the 60s there was all kinds of stuff going on. It wasn't that Leave It to Beaverland stuff that was happening in the 40s and 50s. It simply wasn't, Brian, and that's just a matter of historical fact. You can say what you want to say. You can act. Well, from their point of view, you can do all of that. It doesn't matter if you want to do all that. The fact of the matter remains is the 60s was a volatile time. So covering the
Mike.
60s,
Okay, Mike. Mike. Just stop. Just stop. This movie is taking place in an alternative reality. It is not based in our reality. One.
Okay, great.
Hold on. Stop. There's an orange man running through buildings, and a 40-story man in a purple armor. Awesome. It is fantasy. I understand what you're saying.
Great.
I understand what you're
All
saying.
of it fantasy then.
It's called every last bit of it.
All
It's
of it
fucking
fantasy
comic book.
then.
It's called
Great.
fucking comic book.
Great. Then
All
all of it's fantasy. So then don't turn around and get deep when Black Panther or anything else comes up. Don't turn around and get deep about that type of stuff, because then let's not talk about the social issues that are the pretext for this stuff. If that's
What
the
social
case.
issues? Hold on.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No, we don't.
Hold on,
Because it's a ridiculous argument. It's a ridiculous argument. Look at it like this.
wrong with you?
You haven't even watched the movie yet.
All right, so I guess I shouldn't bring up any social issues that.
No, that's not what we're saying.
No.
You're trying to judge a movie that we haven't even seen making it say that it has all this stuff in it. And the movie hasn't even came out yet.
We can't talk over each other. Carvin hasn't had a chance to speak. Carvin, go ahead.
When you talk about a movie that hasn't came out yet, let alone we know if it's going to be 100% historically accurate, probably not. Most Marvel movies aren't to that degree. And let alone they're not going to care to that level. Their goal is to entertain you. I mean, sometimes there's like a subplot, but I mean, the main thing is to show some action to make some kids want to watch it and buy some action figures, man. That's the main point of this, man. You're overreacting.
Okay, all right, got it. Like I said, then let's not talk about social commentary with regard.
We
to
haven't.
Later.
We have not one bit. Just you.
We're
Only you.
literally talking about how bad the
Wait a second. Because
Only you.
I think that you're missing. I think that you're missing what I'm saying.
I'm not missing anything.
I think that you are missing, because what I'm saying is it's very simple. If I can't turn around and voice my opinion on, hey man, that's not really a realistic version of what the
it's not supposed to be realistic.
Okay, wait a second.
It's not a documentary. It's not a documentary.
Why are we breaking down Black Panther?
Hold on. But Black Panther's a different story than this. Hold on. Black Panther's a different story than this, bro.
It doesn't matter.
Again, that's a hypocritical argument.
It won't matter. It won't matter if it doesn't matter.
Okay, whatever. You don't see that's a that argument is from a very it's a very hypocritical argument.
Can I make a point here?
You don't see that is okay,
Mike,
whatever.
Can I make a point here? It won't.
That's silly. Well, wait a minute.
Mike,
this fantasy story.
Mike, can I get a word in here? Can I get a word in here? Because I think
talk about comment, but this fantasy story is not.
Yeah, you were Mike, can I get a word?
This fantasy story is fantasy.
All right, I might have to meet you, man. You gotta let me talk, dude. You gotta let me say something.
Do you get what I'm saying?
No, because I'm trying for you to let me explain.
Okay, whatever.
Because here's how I look at it. It doesn't really matter to me if the Black Panther is a little bit of a different type of story. It doesn't matter, because guess what? If Fantastic Four comes out and I watch it and I think it's interesting, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down just like how I broke down Black Panther, and just like I broke down Avengers and any other movie that I find interesting. Now, if it's uninteresting and it's stupid and it's bland and the Silver Surfer continues to look like shit, they don't improve how she looks in the movie, then I'm going to talk about how bad it is. So that's why I say your point is kind of ridiculous. Like, what do you mean I can't break the movie down?
Okay, again, break it down. If you're going to break it down, then how are you going to not break it down? When you're saying you're going to break it down, do you mean you're not going to include any social commentary for the time period that it took place in? Is that what you're saying?
No, it depends. No. Okay. He's asked me a question, dude. He asked me a question. I'll let you get in. No, I'm not saying that. If they address social issues like that and they bring it up in the movie and it's compelling and they blend it well in the movie, then I'm gonna say, hey, they did a good job. If they bring the socials in and it's like ad hoc and they're like preaching to us and everything, like, man, I didn't like it. Like, I think they could have blended it well. They could have because let's be honest, Mike. The main antagonist in this movie is going to be Silver Surfer and Galactus. I don't think they're going to have a lot of time for a whole bunch of social issues that were going on in the 60s. Now, I can think of some creative ways on how they could introduce some of those issues. Like one thing they could do is like, okay, well, we know the Vietnam War was going on at the time, and then maybe their arrival of like Silver Surfer and Galactus kind of like makes all humans like, we're killing each other. It's massive threats out there. That whole speech that Ronald Reagan gave to Congress, like he was like, we had an existential threat. All our little petty differences would go away overnight. So I think there's some things they could do, but we don't know. The movie hasn't come out yet. All we got is a trailer to go off of. And one of the main things we were talking about the trailer was just how bad some of the stuff looks. You're the one who brought up this issue about the kind of the hokiness of it. But
because
to me,
it's silly
a stretch.
to me.
To me, it's a
because
stretch.
It's silly to me.
I mean, that's fine if it's silly.
But again, your position is your position. But understand when you say, "Well, that's black fragility, Mike," that's an attack. So if you're going to attack me, then be prepared for me to sling it back at you. That's all I'm trying to say.
It's not an attack.
If you're going to attack me, be prepared for me to swing my sword back.
Hey, Mike.
It's not an attack. Because if you look at the chat,
it is an attack.
If you
it
look
is
at
an attack because what you're trying to say when you say black fragility, what you're trying to say is that, well, Michael, you're caught up in your feelings about how you feel about the movie, and maybe you need to get past that and work past that. It's an attack. Don't hide.
Well, that's not an attack. I agree with you.
It is. Don't hide.
I'm not hiding. I'm not hiding. I'm about to acknowledge you said.
Okay, go ahead.
I agree with you.
You too. I have to say, if y'all gonna have an argument amongst yourselves and nobody can get a word in edgewise, please take it off the channel. But other than that, let's move on. Mike, if that's an open invitation to attack you, by all means, I will do so. But next thing, please. Jesus, we've been arguing about nothing. Absolutely nothing.
This is my last point on the subject. I just wanted to agree with Mike's assessment on what I think black fragility is, but I don't see that as an attack. I just see that as, I think black people had that. It's something we need to acknowledge when we go out in the world. You know what I'm saying?
It's an attack. But go ahead.
It's not an attack. I mean,
we can move on.
It's kind of like when I point out white people's white fragility. I was like, I'm not attacking them.
And that's an attack to them, and they view it as an attack.
They might have viewed it. They can view it as much as they want, but just coming from me, I'm telling you, it's not an attack. I was like, listen, if you're letting this one little thing obscure, I mean, like literally, you.
I mean, the whole film,
the whole trailer
looks shitty to me. Like the look and feel of it, I don't like how it looks.
Hold on, Mike. You didn't need to have any of that what you just said between the beginning of the conversation and what you just said in that last sentence. The whole trailer looks shitty. Next subject.
We weren't focused on that. And
we were never focused on any of the bullshit that came out of your mouth.
Wait a minute. Because I will not allow you to do that. If you go back and look at some of my initial chats, what did they say? Go back in the YouTube chat and look at what it says.
That's why I said
it looks dumb.
Yeah, and then your next one was, "Are you the protectors of this world? Always a president or someone else from the dominant society?"
But my first comment was,
agreed.
This shit looks dumb.
And then your second comment was talking about the dominant
society. Yeah, sure, but like I don't like how it looks. I don't really care for the cinematography on it. It looks just as like plasticky as a lot of other stuff that I see, and that's fine.
Go on.
It's just not really what I care for. But then since you guys focused on the whole, are you the protectors? And I clarified myself. Yeah, I was like, it's so stupid. Like, because it's like, well, what time period is this in? Well, it's in the 60s. Well, the 60s, people weren't really talking like that anymore. People weren't thinking like that. But then you guys gave me this whole thing. Well, now it's black fragility. I'm like, it's not black fragility. It's just not realistic depiction. Well, it's not real, Mike. Because it's fantasy, Mike, and then it's like, okay, well, if it's fantasy, all of this is fantasy.
No, you moved the goalpost on that because when we started breaking down your arguments, because my original point about black fragility is when you started talking about the president or someone else with the dominant society. Well, I mean, they're the dominant society. Of course they're gonna. They got the nuclear power. They got the nuclear bombs. Of course they're gonna go to them and say they're the leaders.
Right? Well, wait a minute. We were talking about how grounded it was. And I was like, well, the grounded version of what's happened is like
the next topic.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Whatever, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's move on. We're gonna I think it's
Mike,
video games.
Hey, Mike, I'll be there next Sunday. Even though I still will say everything that came out of your mouth was bullshit.
Lucid Studio.